Hello.
Hi, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm Dina.
Matt here.
Nice to meet you. University of Delaware, right?
Yep.
Okay, making sure I'm in the right spot. So, just a couple of things. Thanks so much for being a part of this today. I am going to ask, do you have anybody else presenting with you, like a student or anything you do?
Two more professionals. So I'm actually going to moderate the chat and the questions when my
Okay.
colleague is going to present, and we also have someone from our honors college to present.
Perfect. Okay. So if you'd like, we'll give them another second to sign on, and then I'll just go over my little spiel. We're going to start right at 2 o'clock. We just have to make sure we wrap up. I'm sure they stress to you that 45 minutes is a hard deadline. So I'll go over everything as soon as everybody else gets here.
Cool.
All right, cool. Actually, I'm curious, how many students signed up? Do you know? Do you have a list?
Ooh. I actually, do I have the list? I know our presenter does. I don't, let me look through my email. One minute.
It's all good.
It's been a long week.
Yes, it really has. Are you guys, are you off? Are your business, like, are your offices off on Monday, or are you guys in?
We aren't off on Monday. Because of the pandemic, they got rid of fall break for our students,
Okay.
but we always work that day anyway. So.
Oh, got it. Okay. Okay. So they at least gave you Monday. Yeah.
Yeah. We also have one of our first virtual open houses tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. Very good. Well, good friend of mine is just actually driving on her way there now for an in-person tour. So yeah,
Amazing. Oh,
they were so excited to be able to do that.
well, I'm actually part of the team. There's 3 of us that oversee our daily tours and our tour guides.
Oh, great. Okay, great. All right, we have another person.
Hello.
Hello, how are you? I'm
Great.
Dina. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us today. I understand there's one more person who'll be joining us. So
Thanks.
I was telling Matt, I'll just wait till everybody's here. We were just chit-chatting, and then I'll
Yeah, go right ahead.
give my little spiel.
Oh, cool. It looks like there's already people in as attendees.
Oh, great. Okay, super. Hi, how are you?
How are you? How's everyone?
I love your background. You look so cool. All right, very good. So I'm Dina Strachan. I appreciate you guys being here today. I did this once before for another school, so I think I know what I'm doing. That's always helpful. So basically, I've turned off, just so you know, I've turned off the raise hand feature on here. So the only way students can participate is through the Q&A. And I understand Matt is going to moderate that. So I have a slide I'm just going to present. Let me see how I can do this most effectively. Okay. All right, let's see if I can span this out a little bit. So just to go over some things, the session does end promptly in 45 minutes. They are very, very strict about that. We will start at exactly 2 o'clock. We will also be recording this. So, and you'll get a list of the students who were, in attendance, just to be able to follow up with them with any questions. So that should be available within the week. And then the recording will also be available online on their website, StriveScan's website. There'll be a transcript of all the questions. I said that. Okay, so just a couple of reminders to, mute yourself if you're not speaking, since there are a few of us. Once you guys start your presentation, I will turn my screen sharing over. I just have one little housekeeping slide to do with everyone. And then I'll turn everything over to you. I'll turn off my video, but I will be right there behind the scenes. And yeah, at exactly 2:45, that's when we have to stop. So I don't know if you guys had a timeline, like if you're going to do a presentation and then stop at a certain time and then do Q&A or something like that. So, or were you just going to moderate the Q&A in the chat? Did you have a plan?
So I'll be present first or start the presentation, and then I'll turn it over to Michael, and then it'll come back to me, and then Matt will ask the questions out loud, and then Michael and myself will answer.
Sounds perfect. All right. And, you know, if for some reason we're getting close to the end, I'll just put up the thank you for joining us slide, and that's our little cue that we have to stop just in case we're losing track of time. So, so I want to thank you in advance for being here, for doing this with us today. Okay.
Sure.
All
Hey,
right.
Matt, this is Michael. I just thought of something, Matt. Is Matt there?
Hi.
Hey, I may just send you a link. Towards the very end, Honors has an FAQ site, so I'm going to just send you the link to that. So like at the very end, if you want to post it in the chat or something and say, here's an FAQ site for, I'm not sure if you want to or not, but I'll send it to you.
Do we have chat? I don't think chat is enabled for this session, is it?
Oh, it's not. Okay.
You know what? No, you're right. I forgot about that. Right. So it is just
Good,
the
we won't do
Q&A.
that.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
No problem.
And then just a reminder, if you're going to answer questions in writing, you know, whatever the function is, I think it's called answer live, just to not use that, because then the student's name, stuff like that appears. So we just recommend just repeating the question and answering it verbally.
Okay.
And then you can just hit, there's a dismiss button. I guess you guys are pretty used to this by now, how this whole thing works. So.
And a question for you, Dina. So when you make the announcement to the whole group, what exactly are you sharing, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, sure. So it's a really quick slide. It just says, I'm going to say hello. Thank you for joining us. You know, identify myself. I'm going to tell them that they can use the Q&A button, that their camera and microphones will be off, and just to sign up for more sessions, and that recordings will be available.
Oh, okay. All right.
So
just to know, when I do welcome and introductions, I'm doing that part.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yep, you are doing everything. I'm just like, I'm not, and I'll just say, and I'm turning it over to our panelists. So just, obviously just introduce yourself at that point. Okay. Any other questions?
I have a question. Since I'm moderating and doing Q&A, should I leave my video on during the presentation or should I turn it off?
That's up to you. You could turn your video off.
I just don't want like my face to pop up and distract people from Crystal.
Yeah, that's fine. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So I'm going to stop sharing, and then you guys can start sharing your screen. Make sure it all works.
Okay. Then I'll do play from the start.
Okay, perfect. All right.
How much time do you have? Okay, so I'm just going to click through. Da, 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 da.
Very lovely.
Good design team.
Yeah.
So at this point, then I will end the show, and I'm going to then do a new share to our honors presentation. Play from start. Okay, yep. I just want to make sure it's as smooth as we can get it. So let me just.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
That's good. Okay.
Yep.
When you get there, Crystal, when the title slide comes up, you could immediately go to the next one, and I'll start talking on the next one.
Okay, sounds good.
Perfect.
All right, so I'm going to go back to my slide.
Do you want me to stop share?
I think I override you. Sorry, I don't mean to be overriding. Yeah, so I think I just have to have this one up. And I'm going to leave it on this page just because, it's not as pretty, but then I can see my speaker slides. So, okay, so let's go back here. And Actually, hang on one second. Let me go here first. Okay, so it looks like we have our participants joining us at this point. So let's get started. Hello, everyone. My name is Dina Strachan. I'm from Woodstown High School, and I am here today to introduce, we've got some people here from University of Delaware. So just a couple of housekeeping items. I'm going to share my screen. You are here with the NJACAC Virtual College Experience Tour. So here are some things. First, how do you ask questions? Basically, we have the Q&A button at your disposal, but just know that your camera and microphone are off, so no one will be able to see you. You can sign up for more sessions at and just know that this presentation and all presentations have been recorded, so they'll all be available at that same website, njacac.org/.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, New Jersey. Very excited to be with you all today. My name is Crystal Santos. I'm an associate director here in the Office of Undergraduate Admissions, and I recruit in southeastern New Jersey. So very excited to meet with you all and tell you a little bit more about UD. Joining me in the presentation today, there is Matt Hermanow, also an admissions representative in Central New Jersey. And we also have special guests we're excited to have from the Honors College, our director. His name is Michael Chajes. So you will hear during the presentation, I'll talk a little bit more about, like I said, University of Delaware, and then we'll talk in depth about the Honors College. And then following that, you'll hear more about the application process and deadlines that are important to you. So once again, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Matt will be handling the chat, so feel free if you do have questions, add them in the chat, and we will, at the end of the session, do a live, answer some of your questions live. So thanks again, and let's get started. All right. Y'all can see that. Okay, so when it comes to University of Delaware, we are a top tier research institution. And what does that mean? It means that we are very, very, very dedicated to our students' abilities to be able to do research, to be able to develop that idea that you have, implement it, have the support and resources that you need on campus in order for it to come into fruition. We love that about UD. I will just add a little note in here that Dr. Chajes, Mike, Matt, as well as myself are all UD alum. So we've been through the experience and we're back here at UD, obviously looking to tell you more about the experiences that you can get involved in. So let's continue and look a little bit more at location and why that's important when it comes to ideas and comes to opportunities. So we're located in Newark, Delaware. Newark, Delaware, very suburban environment, suburban town. But I also think it's important to know what's in and around, Newark, Delaware. We're going to get a little bit more in depth about Newark. But I wanted to highlight our region, and being from New Jersey, I think you kind of have an understanding a little bit of our easy access to a lot of different cities, but being in Newark, you have it a little easier as well. Of course, we're only about 2 hours or so from New York, 40 minutes south of Philadelphia, about an hour and 15 minutes from Baltimore, and about 2 hours or so from DC, all depends on who's driving. But I also think it's important to highlight the access and how to get around to these major cities. I survived 4 years without a car, so it's definitely possible. But we have Amtrak, we have SEPTA, and we have megabus opportunities on campus too. So aside from the bus trips that are offered to students to explore the different cities, if you just wanted to go for a day or for a weekend to a major city in the area, at least you have transportation right on campus, Amtrak and SEPTA, that you have access to get around. Even if it means you going home and going hanging out with your friends, or meeting up with your family members or such as well. If you've never taken Megabus, consider it. College students love Megabus because of its inexpensive but good quality ride to a lot of the major cities as well. And you will certainly have the opportunity to explore on your own while you are on and around campus, especially for internships. Now let's take a little closer look at what Delaware has to offer. What's most important about Delaware certainly is we're a small state, but we are an institution that is very powerful. We make our move within the state and within the region. There's a lot of great people and corporations and businesses that attract our students and want our students when it comes to jobs and internship opportunities. Like I mentioned, we're in Newark, Delaware, so about 20 minutes north of us in Wilmington is really a great place, more of a city, more of an urban environment where you can explore cultural activities and restaurants and venues and opportunities for social, but also for a number of banking and finance institutions that are there. So if you're considering business, and you have places right here within Delaware that you can have easy access to. If you're less of a city person, more of, you just want to, hang by the beaches, we are not too far from the beaches, about an hour or so, once again, depending on who's driving. But also you have where, if you like being outdoors, you have the opportunity of a number of state parks within the area, and our students frequent those quite often, whether they're on their own or through one of their registered student organizations like the Outdoors Club. Even, I would say, 20 minutes from campus, you have where you can do zip lining and whitewater rafting and just different opportunities for you to engage, especially. Also just want to highlight too, what our campus looks like. So right in Newark, right on campus, we have about 18,000 or so undergraduate students. 30% are coming from the state of Delaware, 70% coming from outside the state of Delaware. So when it comes to campus opportunities and engagement, you will not have a dull moment. There are plenty of things for you to engage in. And as you can see in some of the pictures here, we have where we'd like to allow students to be able to have fun in the classroom, but also gain experience even outside the classroom and on campus. We have a 350-acre farm, so our agricultural and natural resource students can certainly explore and be as hands-on as possible when it comes to their major and subject area. We also have a U-Dairy creamery, so we actually make our own ice cream, which is very popular, and of course at this time a lot of fun flavors. But there are courses such as From Cow to Cone that allow students to understand the full process from how we get the supplies that we need, and then the whole process to marketing those ice creams and getting it out to the public. We have had students that are also involved in naming flavors and developing new flavors that are actually sold in our creamery. So next time you're on campus, stop by U-Dairy because it really, really is great ice cream. Another fun thing that is also new to us is our esports arena. And that's just another opportunity for students to, do more. And if you love gaming, this sports arena, I'm not a big gamer. However, the sports arena is very, very attractive, and it makes me want to start, a game myself, becoming one. But those are just some of the things that you can do outside the classroom too. Our health complex is also a great opportunity for students to learn more about their fields. We have a PT clinic in our health science complex. We have a managed health care facility as well for the community. So our PT clinic as well as our healthcare clinic is open to the community. So our students and our community members are actually going there, and it allows, once again, our students to get in hours and experience working with the public within their field as well. So that's really, really key. Another important aspect is just partnerships and collaborations that University of Delaware has. This, for example, as you see in this picture here, these are our art conservation students. Our art conservation students have had an opportunity here working with Tuskegee University on renovating and updating these dioramas. These dioramas are, for the most part, depicting the history of African Americans. We have that partnership with Tuskegee so that our students can be hands-on and apply what they've learned in the classroom to these dioramas. So this is just one of the opportunities that you will have as a student, the opportunity to be hands-on as possible, but also work closely with your faculty. Our faculty are excellent. They have experience within the field, which is important. They are the ones that also guide students and mentor students should they have, whether it's research opportunities or projects that they like to develop and implement. Another great partnership we have is with JP Morgan Chase. They actually have a center right on campus that allows our business students to be able to work hours and gain some internship hours in the field. And then the other half of the day, they might be going to classes. So it allows them, once again, to have that understanding and working with Fortune 500 companies so that it becomes a pipeline towards, internship and job opportunities at the completion of their degree. If you're unsure of what you'd like to do, it is okay. University of Delaware has about 150 or so majors and a number of minors as well. So you'll find that many students pick up multiple majors. They'll pick up multiple minors as well. And it's all about kind of creating and working with what your interests are. If you are a business major and you have an interest in maybe taking up a foreign language because you want to go abroad and live abroad at some point in your life, then why not? You have academic advisors that will help you with even, creating your schedule, but also just helping you with identifying what you'd like to do, what your interests are. There are also career advisors to help you with that as well. If you're unsure, I know I started off at University of Delaware as an undeclared major. I started off in the University Studies program, which is still thriving. And of course, you can't graduate with university studies in that program. However, there are advisors within that program that will help you narrow down your interests, understand your skills, your talents, what you'd like to do, and make sure that they put you on a path that counts, that you're taking classes that count towards your graduation requirements. So as long as you declare by the end of your sophomore year, you'll certainly be on track to graduating in 4, which we encourage. But at the same time, it is okay if you're coming in with a lot of different interests or you're just not sure, you will have the help and support that you'll need. On the other hand, I think it's important to also highlight, outcomes. Look at, where are the graduates in the particular program going? And we have a great outcomes website that allows you to be able to view where our graduates are. 6 months after graduation, we actually poll our alum and ask them, what are you doing now? Are you continuing your education? Are you, are you working? And if so, where are you working? So our outcomes webpage is very helpful for you as let's say a psychology major to look up where psychology graduates are and what they're doing from, as early as 2019 and see, what their next steps are. The website is also helpful because it does provide you with, average salary, where the jobs are located that these students, or alum, I should say, are working, as well as if they're continuing their education, which programs are they going into? So it just gives you a really good idea as to the strength of our faculty, of our staff, of career services to support students, and even after they graduate. Every year or so, we have a number of job fairs that assist our students in whether it's a part-time, full-time opportunities and internships as well. Career Services is very helpful, and you have a career advisor related to your major. So go to them, ask them questions such as, what are the trends in my area or in my field? Where are the jobs going to be? Are they going to stay in the Northeast? Will I have to go abroad or go, to a different region for the job opportunities? So they're really good at that and really good at connecting students. There's also a mentoring program as well that's offered. So alumni who have been in your shoes and are taking their time to reach back to undergraduate students to get to know them a bit better and also just help guide them towards their career goals as well. Now, a couple other areas where that you might find an interest are scholars and fellows. And what these are, we have about 6 programs now, and what we call scholars and fellows, and they're all special interest programs. There's accessibility scholars, community engagement scholars, cybersecurity scholars, Delaware Innovation Fellows. So if you have like an entrepreneurial mindset, no matter what major you're in, really attractive program. And then our new program is called Climate Scholars. So if you're really into, climate, environmental issues, as well as policy, you can certainly take on any of these or consider these special interest programs as a new student. These are 4-year programs, so that means that after you've been admitted, you'll be invited to apply to these. And starting your first semester, you will be within a cohort of students of the same interest, and you all are doing workshops and seminars and projects. So it's not as demanding as a minor, not as demanding as a major, but it's definitely more than just a resident student organization. So these are really attractive and great opportunities to enhance your experience and time at UD. Another area to explore is study abroad. I don't know about you all, Michael and Matt, but I have not had the opportunity to study abroad. I wish I did when I was a student, but I have loved everyone's experience talking to our student tour guides. Everyone has loved their experiences. And I'm sure Dr. Chavez will tell a little bit more about some of his students' experiences in the Honors College. But when it comes to study abroad, I certainly encourage it. We want students to be able to have that opportunity to go abroad. And when I say abroad, there are some programs that are also offered within the United States. So sometimes if you're taking up a certain language, you might have a Southwest program. There are programs offered in Hawaii. Wouldn't that be nice? That's also an attractive one. There are freshman-friendly programs too. So if you know the first year you'd like to go abroad, you can certainly do so. The main 2 ways that students want to go abroad is either they're looking at a specific place they want to go to. So many students love Italy and they're like, you know what, let me see what's being offered in Italy. And there's a website where they can go and actually see the classes offered. I think it was last week or the week before, they actually just finished up a study abroad fair. So any student interested in study abroad had the opportunity to, check out the study abroad fair and talk to the faculty that are teaching the courses. The second way a student can consider studying abroad is really based on their major. So look at what the study abroad programs are for your department. So if you are criminal justice or if you are education, see where the study abroad opportunities are. There are majors such as some in engineering and nursing that might be more challenging to study abroad for a full semester, and that is okay. You still have our winter session where you can study abroad. And if you haven't heard about UD's winter session, it is a little long, but it's also a very beneficial semester. So it's an additional 4 to 5 weeks after the December holidays. Most students take advantage of the study abroad opportunities during that time because it doesn't interrupt their fall and spring. So certainly consider it, go to the fairs, talk to current students about their experiences and how it's only just going to enhance your UD experience. Now, another program, if from the get-go, you want to study abroad, you want to be able to just right away say, studying abroad is definitely key and top of my, my list when it comes to my college experience, perhaps you want to consider World Scholars. World Scholar is a 4-year program where students go, or first-year students go abroad their first year. They're then required to go abroad their junior year. During the other years, sophomore year and senior year, they can study abroad again if they'd like to, but there will be other World Scholars related workshops and seminars and special projects, symposiums that they will be partaking in. And the idea is that someone who really has that global or international interest and experience and want to bring it all together, this is a key program for them. If you're considering a minor or a major in a language, this might be a great opportunity for you as well. So students will be considered for World Scholars after they've been admitted to UD. It is an interview application process. So you'll hear more about it if you are a senior admitted and considering this. So at this time, I am going to turn it over to our one of our partners here, Michael Chajas. He's going to talk more about the honors program. So give me a second while I bring it up for you all. And then Mike, I'll let you take it away. Okay.
All right, Crystal, thank you so much. So as Crystal said, I'm Michael Chajas. I am Dean of the Honors College. Perfect. I'm Dean of the Honors College. It's so nice to be chatting with you today. I want to start by saying, asking a question that is, what is an honors college? So why might you consider an honors college? And what I've put here is our definition. It's a small, supportive, scholarly community that's housed within a major research university. So you heard Crystal describe all the amazing things that our 18,000 student campus has to offer. And honors is about a 2,000 student group. We bring in about 600 students each year, and they're a smaller cohort of students who are really interested in getting engaged, are really excited about their academics, and that's what an honors college is. The example I use is I grew up in Amherst, Massachusetts. Some of you have heard, I would guess, of a college called Amherst College, and I went to the University of Massachusetts, which is in Amherst, because I wanted to be an engineer. Amherst College doesn't have engineering. Amherst College doesn't have a number of different majors. So I went to the University of Massachusetts. They have a similar thing there. They have the Commonwealth College, which is a small honors college for really motivated students within the major universities. So you're not separate from the major university, but you also have this group of students that are very like-minded. So Crystal, if we go to the next one. Here we have pictured a couple of our graduates, and as you know, people would tell you a great measure of a college, a university, is who they're graduating, how successful they are. So we have Shalia up in the top left. She left a couple years ago, and she is now at the University of San Diego at Scripps Institute of Oceanography, and she's studying for her PhD. About 35 to 40% of our students go on for postgraduate work or law school or medical school. And then in the right there, you see Dave and Zach. They are working for Google. So the very top companies come and look at our honors students because they're really, really talented. So our goals are to create a diverse and inclusive community. And we would say of courageous learners, because our students help each other try out things and discover their talents and really engage on campus. We specialize in helping people build connections. I'm going to talk a little bit about each of these things, but we try to connect you to faculty, to each other, to alumni, to community leaders, and then we try to foster the talent that we know is within our honors students. So if we go to the next slide, I'm going to talk a little bit about our community. I think that's probably the most special part of honors, is that we build a very supportive community. Some places you'll find with really talented students are very competitive. Our students are not competitive at all. They're actually supportive of each other, trying to help each other get the best out of themselves that they can. So what people sitting here on the wall and in front of the wall, these are our Munson Fellows. They're upper division students who live with our first year students in a living learning community. So they're there to help you adjust to college life, to help you figure out which classes to take, to help you figure out which activities to engage in. It's a really supportive and it's a really great way to get acclimated to college life. So those are our Munson Fellows. We have all kinds of programming, again, for the first year students as well as for our upper division students. They include faculty coming into the residence hall to have study breaks where we'll just come in and talk and play games. We have pizza with a professor. We have a lot of interaction between faculty and students. And that's really important to get to know the faculty and find out what they're doing, what research they're working on, can you get involved in helping them in their labs. And finally, we have a number of student organizations. So we have students who go on trips. We have students who have a service organization. A lot of this stems out of our first year residence hall, which has about 22 lounges in it. So the students just hang out. I know a little bit about it because my daughter graduated 2 years ago from honors, and she built lifelong friends there that she continues to keep in touch with. So that's our community. I'm very proud about that. I think that's what our honors students would say is the best part of our honors college. Next slide. I talked about connections, and this is really, really important. And wherever you go, wherever you end up, you want to make connections. You want to find mentors, and those mentors can be faculty. So you see Jackson here. He's working in a research lab with Professor Watson. That's one of his mentors. He got a chance to do that early on in his career. My daughter worked on research for all 4 years that she was on campus. It's not particularly uncommon for our honors students to get involved right away and continue to do that. So, you know, now they have someone who can help them make the transition to the next stage, because you're not going to be here in Newark, you know, forever, even though I think you're going to wish you were, because I know you're going to have a great time here. I've been here 30 years. I've rarely seen a student come to Newark, Delaware to the university and not enjoy their time, and it goes by really fast. I'll tell you, my second child is in his 3rd year now, and it seems like he started just yesterday, and he's going to be moving on too. So faculty mentors is critical. If I leave you with anything today in terms of your future, it is to find faculty mentors wherever you end up. I would say our faculty here at the University of Delaware are very interested and eager to be able to do that. We have our own honors staff. So when you need advice to figure out how do I get this minor, how do I do a second major, how do I apply for this scholarship, we have staff that are going to work with you. So you're going to have advisors in your major, but you're also going to have support within the Honors College to do that. Like I said, within the first year residence hall, you're going to have fellow students, and you're going to continue to have fellow honors students to work with. So you're going to make a lot of close friends there. We're going to encourage you to support each other to work together. And then our alumni base, I showed you a couple of them. You know, if you want a job at Google, you got 2 people right there. If you want to go to law school, we got people in law schools all over the country. If you want to go to medical school, our alumni are really supportive, and we have alumni, alumni mentoring networks that we utilize and you'll have access to, as well as businesses in the community to get internships and those types of things. So next. And lastly, fostering talent. So our whole curriculum, about 1/3 of your classes that you will take will be honors classes. They'll either be smaller classes where you might have 25 students in your honors class. You'll really get to interact with the faculty member in that case. That's part of the fostering of your talent. We also, within our honors classes, those 1/3 of your classes that you're going to take, I guarantee you those are really committed faculty. In fact, all the faculty on campus are committed. One reason I came to the University of Delaware was because of the commitment to undergraduate education. And so you're going to find that across the board. You're definitely going to find that with your honors classes. We provide enrichment awards, both for faculty who are teaching a class to maybe take you on field trips, to bring a speaker into your class, but we also provide you with enrichment scholarships. So if you would like to perhaps, these are pictures actually, what you're seeing here are students who were given enrichment awards. I particularly like the one in the middle on the top there, because that student's currently in my sustainability class. And she took an enrichment award, and she is on the beaches in Costa Rica, and that little thing in front of her is a turtle. And so they were there helping small turtles make their way, you know, from their nest to the ocean, and watching that process and seeing how that was going. We have someone on the left there. He was actually given money because he was interested in theater, so he went to London. Stephanie in the top right was interested in doing research, so she got support to do research in mechanical engineering. And in the bottom right, that's Phil Kay, who's a spoken word poet, and he was invited using these monies to come to campus to speak to our students and read some of his poetry. And in the bottom left is a student who is showing her Summer Scholars poster. So she spent the summer doing research. You heard about study abroad, so Crystal mentioned study abroad. I will say that I didn't get to do that as an undergraduate student, but as a faculty member, I now lead trips. So the past 2 years, I've been in Australia and New Zealand teaching sustainability. It's been a course for engineering students. The Honors College has an honors only study abroad, which has been going to Italy every other year. But there is a, study abroad started at the University of Delaware in 1923. We have about the largest number of offerings that you will find. And so you have the opportunity, honors or not, to go any continent you want to study something that you're interested in. We support private music study. And again, the last thing I'll say is mentorship. We pride ourselves on helping you find mentors to help you be successful. So next one. So student success, you really measure a college or a university by the success. So our honor students are tremendously successful. You see a medal there. At graduation, we give an honors medal. And 97% of our students after graduation within 6 months are either employed or seeking postgraduate education. And you see there 35 to 40% of them are doing that. So whether that's a medical school, a law school, or a graduate school. The other thing I note there is that our students apply for major national scholarships like Rhodes Scholars, Truman Scholars, Goldwater Scholars. They're very successful at winning those. We help you through that process. Next one. So the last thing I'm going to say is just sort of a little bit about, what we look for when you all apply, and then Crystal's going to tell you a little bit more about the general application process at the University of Delaware. But in honors, we're just looking for students who have in your high school and who continue to want to challenge yourself. So we'll look at, are you taking the most challenging classes that your high school has to offer? Are you doing well in those classes? Do you want to be engaged outside of the classroom? Do you express to us in your essays and things that you have some real goals and dreams? We want people who are aspiring to do great things. We're open to any major across campus. We have students from every of the other colleges. So our students are both in the Honors College and maybe in the College of Arts and Science or the College of Engineering. We're test optional this year, as Crystal's going to tell you. It's a really holistic review process. So we're just looking for someone who's made the most out of their high school career and wants to continue to do that in college. All right. I think that's all for me. This is some basic numbers that we have. A little over 4,000 applications each year. Again, 600 incoming students, and those numbers there are sort of the middle 50% of what students look like who are using, SAT scores or ACT, and you can see the GPAs there. So certainly, talented students, and I will tell you that every year the university awards a top male and female student, and over the past 15 years, out of those 30 students, top male and female, 29 of them have come from the Honors College. So that's the types of students we have there. They're really great students, and like I said, very supportive. They make great friendships, and it's a really nice community to join. I guess I leave you, like, if I can take one more second, what I leave you with after 30 years of being a faculty member here at the University of Delaware, wherever you all end up, I think what you're looking for is to find a place where you feel at home, a place where you think you can do your best. If that happens to be Newark, Delaware, the University of Delaware, then this is a great place for you, I guarantee it. So you want to find a place where you just feel like that's my family. So I hope you find that this year. Thanks.
Thank you, Michael. And I apologize, I didn't, it was your children that attended UD, so.
Yeah, children.
All good.
I would have liked to, but I didn't know about it at that. No, actually I did. UMass used to play Delaware in football.
Yes.
And
exactly.
they beat us. So
okay, good to know. Okay, so I am going to move into the application process for everyone. So just to give you a bit more information about the application process. So we're a common and coalition application. You can use either one. One does not give you an advantage over the other. I know we get that question quite often, but it's really up to you which application you use. On the application, you have a required essay. So you have a main statement or essay that you would have to complete. So it's very important for us to get to know you a little bit more outside of your academics and transcripts through those essays. The next part I think is quite important and new. This is our second year with self-reported academic record, also known as SRAR. But this is what you'll actually use in order to submit your high school grades. So you're going to actually take your unofficial transcript from your counselor and use that transcript to fill out this SRAR. So it's a separate, link that you would fill out, and it's going to ask you for information such as, what courses are you taking? What are the levels of courses? Is it college prep, honors, IB, AP, dual enrollment as well? We want to see all of those details. And then of course, it's also going to ask you your grading scale. Is this a full year course or is it a semester only course? So a lot of those details and information we are going to get from your SRAR as opposed to your transcript. but it's on you as the student to use your transcript to fill out this SRAR, and make sure that on the SRAR, you're also putting down your elective courses. If you're doing music and gym and those additional courses outside of your core units, please also indicate that on your SRAR. What happened is that we went to using the SRAR really just to allow us to have a better understanding of the student, especially compared to all of the other applicants. You know, as we recruit, we visit so many different high schools with so many different grading scales and different courses offered at different schools, that using the SRAR makes it a bit easier for us to understand the full picture, and it recalculates a GPA for us as well. So that recalculated GPA is certainly what's also important and applied towards your application. Now, if you are going to submit SAT or ACT scores, yes, you are welcome to do so. You can self-report those as well. So that means when you're self-reporting, we don't necessarily have to have the official scores from the testing agency. You can actually add those test scores on your SRAR. You can add those test scores on your Common or Coalition app. You can take a screenshot and email it over to us, or if you want to go to the testing agency, they can submit those official scores if you wanted to. So if you're planning on submitting your test scores for SAT, we do super score. We do not require at all the writing section. For ACT, we do not super score. So we're only looking at the composite score that you've received if you've taken the ACT more than once, and we only take the highest score. Okay, so you're welcome to submit test scores if you'd like. I am going to go into the next slide about test optional. So give me a second before we get there. But the other area that we are looking into, or that's required for your application, is a school counselor letter. Or the school counselor can provide the secondary school report. So it's up to that counselor what they would like to submit to us. You can provide an additional letter from your, from maybe your English professor or from a mentor or your supervisor at work. However, those are not required. Only the school counselor and the secondary school report are required, either one. And then, of course, for the Honors College, it's same thing, an essay that you'll be required to submit after your UD application is complete. So make sure that you keep looking at your My Blue Hen Home student portal, which you will have access to after you submit your Common or Coalition application. We will send you an email with a link to access your portal. And from there, you'll be able to see a checklist so that you have a record as to what items we have received in our office towards making your application complete and what's still outstanding. So from there, like I mentioned, you will find the Honors College essay to apply. So for test optional, as Michael Shea just mentioned just now, that we are test optional for spring and fall 2021 applicants. And of course, this means that if you're test optional, you do not have to submit test scores. If you choose not to submit test scores, then you will be expected to submit about additional essay prompts, short answers, no more than about 250 words for each one. But you will actually see what these essay prompts are on your My Blue Hen Home portal. So once again, in terms of that holistic review, if you're not submitting test scores, we want to get to know you certainly still a little bit better and understand your background, your challenges, what you've overcome, resilience. We want to see what you're able to contribute here at University of Delaware's campus as well. So make sure that you do fill out those short answers right there from the My Blue Hen Home portal as part of your application if you are going test optional. What's also important to know are the deadlines. This is just a general timeline. Of course, if you are, a senior now, applications open, go ahead and apply. But also we have two deadlines. We have early action, of course, and that deadline is November 1st. And then our regular admission or regular deadline is January 15th. Students who apply early action will hear back from UD by the end of January. Students who apply regular decision or regular admission will hear back from us, I would say mid to late March. Okay, so really the difference as if you should do early action versus regular, it's up to you and when you'd like to hear back from us. There are some majors like nursing and maybe, you know, biomedical engineering that and chemical that are quite competitive that might fill up a little faster, but we still give the same consideration for those students who apply regular decision versus early action. So something to think about if you're really interested in those particular majors, apply early so that you'll hear back early as well. Also just want to touch on the deadlines as it relates to the Honors College as well. So they're very similar, but we made sure that, you know, the deadlines are somewhat to what our deadlines are as well for UD admissions. So honors student or students who are applying early action also need to apply by November 1st, and they will hear back by February the 15th. And then students who apply regular admission, so applying by January 15th, will hear back by April 1st. Okay. So keep those deadlines in mind as you go through the process. We are certainly excited to, you know, be able to share with you opportunities even beyond what you have here in front of you. We are actually offering through our office, you know, one-on-one appointments to meet with admissions representatives. We also have an open house on tomorrow, actually, Saturday, but we also have 2 more. So October 25th and November 14th for you to join us and learn more about the programs that you are interested in. Connect with students. We also have guided tours right now. So I'm not sure if many schools are doing guided tours, but we have a really good process right now where if you want to come see the campus, come on down. And actually, you know, you can sign up online for a guided tour and engage with one of the student tour guides as well. So next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you our contact information, and we're going to do a couple of live answer questions for you. So we'll bring that in, and he'll ask us a few questions to answer for the group.
Hi, everyone. So if you haven't submitted questions yet, feel free to open the Q&A box. So you can write them into us, and I'll read them aloud. We have one question for Crystal so far. Comes from one of our students named Eric, and Eric wants to know, where can I access and send the SRAR? And is the SRAR still required if my counselor sends my high school transcript?
Great question. So the SRAR is required. So no matter what, if your guidance counselor or you send over transcripts, SRAR is still required. You will find or be able to access the link to the SRAR on your My Blue Hen Home student portal. Also on our admissions website under the admissions requirements, you will also see a link to the SRAR site where you would enter your information. What they're really going to do is ask you to create a, you know, email, password, and so once you log in, you can enter your school information or the information from your transcript. And if there are other institutions that you're applying to that also require the SRAR, it's easy for you to be able to add those schools onto what you've already started when it comes to the SRAR. You don't have to create a separate account or anything.
Awesome. Next question comes to us from the Q&A box. Can you please confirm again what the minimum requirements, including GPA, are to be accepted?
So so typically when we are looking at students, we are looking at multiple things. So yes, we are looking at your high school performance. There is not necessarily a set GPA that we are looking for. However, we are looking that you've challenged yourself academically and how well you've performed in those, you know, challenging courses. You can find on our website the mid 50% in terms of GPA. And then you can also find, if you were submitting test scores, the mid 50% of test scores as well. So the mid 50%, if I'm been on the website recently, I believe was between a 3.6 and a 4.2, I think it was 4.19 as our mid 50% in terms of GPA.
Another question coming from the chat. A student is wondering about studying, or a student is considering studying abroad for a few months during their high school year, from September to December. How would studying abroad during high school impact their application process? Would there be anything different they would need to show?
If you're studying abroad in high school, I think that is very exciting, very attractive as well. I think the best thing to do is talk about your experience, whether it's in one of your essays or, certainly add it to your talent and involvement section. Perhaps maybe you studied abroad with a specific program. Maybe you study abroad with even at one of your religious groups. I know there are a number of mission trips that I've seen on applications, but it's great to hear that when you're studying abroad, what have you been doing? What did you do during that time? Was it an eye-opener for you? Did anything change? So we love to hear the story behind it, so that we're getting more than just that you studied abroad, but how you maximize your time and what you've done there. So I think this is our call, but I certainly thank you all for joining us. And like I said, you've had our contact information. Please be on the lookout and connect with us.
Thank you all.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, panelists. You guys did a wonderful job. Thank you for signing up for any and all of the sessions that you have done so far. There will be a quick survey as you close this window. For questions will appear. If you don't mind doing that survey, we appreciate it. Sign up for more sessions at www.njacac.org/virtual-fair. And just remember, all these recordings will be available, so check back in the near future if you missed something that you wanted to see. So it's www.njacac.org/virtual-fair. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thanks.